Good afternoon or good morning, good evening, whenever you happen to be watching this. Welcome to another edition of the Superintendents Corner. We have been on hiatus for quite a while with our local program here, and I want to thank our partners at LCTV for getting us back in the studio and hopefully bringing back some programming that illustrates some of the great things that are happening here in Longmeadow Public Schools. Today I'm featuring a handful of students that have helped us understand how we can extend learning outside of the walls of Longmeadow High School. For some time now, we've been on a journey to help us sort of reimagine student success and to think about how student learning can extend to the world beyond us. And we kind of are beginning to increasingly recognize that when we put students into real world settings that great things can happen. And so with us today is Mrs. Erin Corbett. Erin is the Career Education Coordinator at Longmeadow High School, and two seniors, Maxwell Kading and Shay Hamill. So welcome to everybody, and I want to thank you for joining us to talk about your experiences. So Erin, I want to start with you. You proudly are bringing two of your finer student interns with you today. And so Erin has launched a career education program here at Longmeadow Public Schools. And since April of 2021 has been building a very, very successful program and has established a bunch of great community partnerships and created opportunities for students to engage in a spectrum of career education activities. And today, we're focusing on the internship program in particular. But Erin, can you tell us a little bit about what a career education coordinator does, the types of activities that you organize, and then we'll zero in on the internships after that.
Sure. Yeah. So as the career education coordinator, we are focusing on all things career related. So that starts off with career awareness and finding out what options are available in the world today, and then giving our students opportunities to explore those options and then hopefully to immerse themselves in those options. And so here at Longmeadow High School, we are doing a variety of things to try to expose our students to what is out there in today's world. And as you mentioned, we have our internship program, which is a class that we are offering for 12th grade students. It's a semester long, and our students can sign up to learn a little bit more about a career that they are interested in pursuing. So it's not focused on one specific area, one specific field, but we really let the students take the lead and find out what they are passionate about and what they are considering pursuing long term, and connect them with a professional in the area that they can go and spend some time with. So as part of their daily schedule, they are spending usually 2 blocks a day outside of the walls of Longmeadow High School to really get some firsthand experience. And along the way, they are being reflective about that experience and journaling about what they're doing and sharing those experiences with their classmates. In addition to that, some things that we're doing are bringing in some career speakers. So we recently launched a lunchtime career speaker series, and we've brought in a couple of professionals to share with our students what their careers entail. So what a typical day is like and the education or training that they needed to pursue that career. We give the students a chance to ask questions that they have and really to just give students exposure to careers that they maybe think they want to pursue or maybe had never even thought of before. So that's something new that we've started. And then I also am spending some time doing individual counseling with students. So when students have questions about what opportunities are out there, if they want to do some real soul searching and figuring out what they're passionate about and what gives them a reason to go in a certain direction. We spend some time together, and we can do things like connecting them with professionals in the area to do informational interviews. We also are setting students up with shorter term experiences, such as a single day job shadow or short-term internships that aren't necessarily as part of a class or for credit, but still giving them meaningful experiences to learn from.
Yeah, it's so exciting that we've built this program and that we've provided students with some really engaging opportunities. And you use the word passion and you use the word individualized. And so Can you scratch at that a little bit more? Like why it's so important to give students opportunities to pursue passions in an individualized way? Like why is that so meaningful to kids today?
I think there are a few reasons why it's so meaningful. I think that they have seen their world shift incredibly over the last year and a half to 2 years. And there's been so much uncertainty in what's going on in the lives of our teens. And for them to be able to find something that is meaningful to them can make a world of difference in terms of their passion and their excitement, and their willingness to want to pursue something, and finding something that they have a reason to pursue. You know, sometimes we have students that think that they want to go into something, and they might make decisions such as attending a certain college to do that, and they might not have had that experience to really know what that means. And then that can turn into making decisions that involve significant financial investment. And then once they get there and really see what that entails, sometimes they're changing their minds. And that's a huge risk to take. And so I think giving them the ability to step into the driver's seat and take this where they want to go is extremely important.
Yeah, and I think another thing you hit on is the whole notion of relevance, right? And we had actually done a community survey back in the spring and had asked parents about, you know, what are some of the critical things that we ought to focus on to make sure that we're providing great opportunities for student learning. And what came back in particular was relevance and making sure that we had opportunities for students to see the relevance of their learning, how it connects to their goals and their passions. And so I really like that you hit on it. And it's obvious that you have a huge passion for this work as well. So, and that's translated into a fantastic program. Erin has built up a network of community partners that provide our students with a whole bunch of great opportunities. And frankly, if anybody's listening and they'd like to take on a LHS intern, we can talk a little bit about that later too. So Shay and Maxwell, thanks for joining us. Ms. Corbett thought that you might be some students who could speak to your experiences and really demonstrate for all of us, you know, how important this program is for you. So we'll start, either one of you can start. Tell us a little bit about how you became interested in the internship program.
I first found out about the internship program through my guidance counselor, and what really drew me to it is I was so divided between going into nursing or going to education. Like my mother, I wanted to go into education because I love little kids, but I was just worried that it was a path that I wanted to take because I was more familiar with it, because people in my family had gone down that path, but they ended up liking it. So I decided to do an internship in education. I'm at Frederick Harris Elementary School, and I'm working in a kindergarten class. And through this, I found that I actually do want to go into education, and it's a path that I'd like to go down. Yeah. So.
And even if it had been something that you discovered you didn't have a passion for, or wasn't right for you, it's better to figure it out now while you're in high school than to, as Erin said, you know, spend a whole lot of mom and dad's money on expensive tuition. So that's a great experience. Maxwell, yours is in sort of a different field. You're doing interning in real estate. So talk to us a little bit about that.
So for finding out about the internship program, all kudos to Miss Moriarty. One of my favorite teachers I've had. She had me last year in online school during quarantine for Accounting 2 honors. And towards the end, when they start dabbling in what do you want to do next year for classes in the BTC, she brought up a lot of classes I wasn't so interested in, and then she said the internship program and explained a little bit about it, and I was hooked ever since. Immediately emailed my guidance counselor, and he put me in touch with Miss Corbett, and we've been talking. I asked her for her help because originally I thought I was going to reach out, but for a summer internship, and that didn't end up working out, unfortunately. But she was right there. The second I failed, she was right there to help me out and land me a spot at William Ravis. And
even going through that process of identifying a place to be placed, right? And there's some value in that, you know, kind of working through that struggle, frankly. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your internship, Maxwell, where you are and what type of work you're doing.
So I'm at William Ravis in East Long Meadow. It's really, I do a lot of different things. Sometimes, it's more of a casual. I help people out, certain agents that already work there that are licensed. I help them out with something that they need for an open house on the weekend, or just sometimes it's busy work but because of my passion for real estate, doesn't really feel like busy work. So I'm always trying to learn something wherever I can. But other days I'll come in more formal. We'll go right into a meeting over Zoom with some of the owners from the company or more executive, higher up ranking people in the business. So it's really all over the place
That's
every day.
outstanding. And so it sounds like both of you are in placements where they've helped you define or refine your career goals or your plans after you graduate from Long Meadow High. So
Yeah.
you talk a little bit about that and how it shaped your future goals and your future path?
For me, I got put in a SPED inclusion room for kindergarten, which means that there's different children of all different capabilities. So I got to see a lot of different ways that kids need to learn in different environments that they need to be in, or different instruction needs that they need. And it actually helped refine what my career will be in the future, because I found that I liked working with kids with IEPs and stuff like that. So I think that I want to go into learning more about special needs and stuff like that as
Excellent.
I go into college.
All right.
So.
How about you, Maxwell? Has this shaped or helped you define or refine your career goals?
I would say it's definitely done all of that. It's very much so solidified. I've been hooked on wanting to pursue real estate for a few years now, especially not having the best grades maybe freshman year, and kind of rather than just sitting there and being a bad student, I kind of wanted to figure out what I was going to do with maybe school isn't for me, maybe college isn't for me. I don't want to spend money on something that I may not be the best at. Real estate, obviously, you don't necessarily need a degree, which is a plus for me. And then learning more about it on my own time the past few years has led me to the internship program, and here I am now, and it's definitely solidified that this is what I want to do.
That's great. I mean, I'm so impressed and proud of you guys, but you said something that was important to me, and that is, we're trying to think differently about student success in Long Meadow Public Schools. We're trying to understand that being a successful student and learning isn't always about the number of A's you accumulate or the number of AP or honors classes that you accumulate. It's having these authentic real-world experiences that help you shape and guide your future, I think. So it's so interesting that you're tuned into that. Can you let's talk a little bit more about that. Are there learning experiences that you have out in your settings at Frederick Harris and at William Ravis Real Estate? Are there things that you're learning that you couldn't really duplicate in a classroom here in Long Meadow High School?
I can go first. Definitely, before anything else. Even my first day, I went in just for about 30, 40 minutes just to meet with the senior sales VP at Ravis to just discuss what I was going to be doing each day. And I didn't really know anything, but in the middle of our meeting, she got a sales call, and it seems like a bad thing and that it would interrupt, but she was pointing she put him on speaker and was pointing to me like, listen, this is very valuable. And I mean, talking, even if there's a teacher that knows a lot about real estate, they wouldn't have had that sales call that I was able to hear live, hear how she dealt with it. And I think that's just being in the office, hands-on experience has helped me the most.
When you're immersed in your field and immersed in your learning and you're doing something you're passionate about, that's a home run. How about you, Shay?
As for me, Max brings up the unexpected aspects that you can't get in a classroom. Working with kids, there's a lot of unexpected things that happen. We have occasional meltdowns that you need to learn how to deal with. They have occasional wardrobe malfunctions and all the fun things that come with being a little kid teacher. But there's also a side where you have to cater to each kid's need that you can't learn in a classroom because you can't actually attend to a kid in the classroom. I've learned that some kids need you to be stricter and need more attention than other kids, and other kids need that they need a little push, but they need you to back off from them because they need to realize for themselves that they can do it.
You ready to interview for a job here in Long Meadow Public Schools?
Yeah,
I
definitely.
I think you would fare well in an interview with any of our principals. Yeah, I'm so proud of you guys and how you're representing your school and yourselves and having that chance to represent yourself in a more formal setting is valuable as well. Aaron, anything you'd want to kind of wrap up with in terms of what you've heard from the students or some of the success stories that you've seen that you're proud of and excited about?
I have been so incredibly proud of all of my students this semester. We had a nice get-together last week where Dr. O'Shea was able to join us, and we asked all of the students to share with us something that they're proud of. And it was moving how much our students have learned and the sense of pride that they are taking in their experiences. I have had students engage with me in a totally different way than they have in the previous years that I've known them. I have parents sending me emails about how their children, their students are so much more engaged and passionate about coming to school on a daily basis. And I am so thankful that the district has made this a priority. I'm excited to continue to work with this program and watch it grow. It truly is an amazing experience to be a part of.
Awesome, and I'll put out a plug for you. If there are community partners out there that would be interested in hosting some of our interns, we'd love to have you. You can get in touch with me or Mrs. Corbett and add you to the growing list of agencies and organizations that will be hosting our students. So Maxwell, Shay, thanks you so much for your time. You guys are amazing. You're doing great work. Stick with it, and I can't wait to see how it all turns out for you. So, Mrs. Corbett, thank you. So we're going to take a quick break, and we have a couple other students who have some off-campus learning experiences that we're excited to talk to you about. So thank you, everybody. Welcome back to the Superintendent's Corner. A little while ago, we had an opportunity to talk to some students that are involved in our career education program, specifically as interns in the community, and we've been excited to provide those opportunities for students to learn in off-campus settings, in real-world settings. And so I have a couple more students with me that can help us kind of build on that. And Long Meadow Public Schools is a member of the Lower Pioneer Valley Educational Collaborative. There are 7 communities that are part of that collaborative, and collaboratively we work to provide a career and technical education program. The program's located over in West Springfield on Brush Hill Avenue, and there's a range of technical education programs that students from Long Meadow Public Schools have access to. And so I want to welcome 2 students who are with me today who participate in that technical education program over in Westside through Career Tech. And so we have Jared Fritz, who's involved in the graphics communications program, and Gabriel Higgins, who's in the automotive technology program. And I want to thank them for spending a chunk of their afternoon with me to talk about their experiences in Career Tech and how it's shaped them as students. And we have been talking in Long Meadow Public Schools about how we can redefine success and think differently about what success and achievement is. And I think the students who are involved in Career Tech are a great illustration of that commitment. So I want to talk to you guys about your experiences with Career Tech, and let's start, maybe rewind the clock. It might go back to middle school or freshman year or something, but Can you talk to us a little bit about how you became interested in career tech in the programs over there? Gabriel, can I start with you?
Sure.
Yeah.
Really, it started when I was younger. I just always had an interest in cars, and one day my brother came home with a flyer from when he was in middle school. They had a little assembly, and one of the teachers came in and just explained to them, gave them the opportunity to talk about it, and I just got hooked, sort of.
All right. So we'll come back to you to talk to you specifically about your program. Jared, how about you? How did you become interested in the career tech program?
So originally I learned about it from my friend. I didn't really know about it before. I mean, I'd been to I had seen like the things about it, but I hadn't really looked into it, and my friend was telling me all about it, and it seemed interesting, so I looked into it more, and it seemed like something I'd be interested in.
Yeah, they really have sort of state-of-the-art facilities over there. I've had opportunity to tour all the shops, and
Yeah.
whether it's in the graphics communication lab or the automotive technology lab or the culinary center or the classroom where they work with health assistants. It's a very robust, top-notch program. There's a precision machining shop where students acquire skills in precision manufacturing, and so there's a whole range of programs that students have access to. So we'll start with Gabriel. Can you talk to us a little bit about the program that you're in and describe some of the activities that you're doing through that?
Sure. So automotive technology, it's pretty much you learn how to diagnose and repair problems in vehicles, and learn a lot.
All right. What are you working on right now? What's the most recent project or task that you guys are?
We've been working on a cooling system,
Okay.
and so me and a few other students have been taking a water pump off a car and just taking a look at it, and then we actually reinstalled it today.
All right. So it's a basically like a full automotive garage there. Do you have access to?
They have
You feel like you have access to the tools and equipment that a typical garage would have?
everything, really. They got 10 or so cars.
All right, 10 cars. So at any time you're pulling them apart and putting them back together and figuring out what's wrong with them.
Yeah.
That's outstanding. And Jared, you're in the graphics communication program, so
Yes.
you can tell us a little bit about that and some of the
Of course.
projects you're involved with.
Of course. So basically, it's all about just learning about graphic design in general.
Yeah.
For example, we learn about like logo design, and we learn about like packaging design, like maybe business card design, just all that kind of stuff. We're working on logos right now. I find it really interesting. We're working on our own logos right now,
All right.
which is pretty cool.
You're gonna brand yourself. That's
Of course.
that's the world we're going into, right? Everybody needs to have a kind of a brand that they
Right.
present to future employers. Has this program, has your participation in career tech shaped or helped define or refine your future goals, like life after Longmeadow High School? Has your participation in graphics and automotive technology shaped your thoughts on what happens next?
I would say, if anything, it's just broadened our future. It really opens up more professional pathways.
Even in the automotive technology field, it's opened up. Maybe you had a more narrow sort of vision of what it looked like, but now you're feeling like there's some doors or pathways open.
For sure,
How is it broadened? Like, are there aspects of automotive technology that you hadn't really thought about previously, or?
Yeah, it really encompasses a lot of different skills, like welding, for example. I haven't worked on that yet, but that will be later this year. We'll work on welding. My uncle's a welder. He has been for decades now. And
All right. Yeah, there you go. So even within that field, there's sort of specialty niches. So, and how about you, Jared? Has this shaped your thoughts about life after Longmeadow High School, or?
I think it's given me a lot more insight into the entire graphic scene as a whole, and it's made me more interested in it than I ever thought it'd be.
Yeah.
So I've been thinking about it, honestly.
All right.
I've been thinking about going into the graphics field and exploring that
If you
from
talk,
T-Tech.
how about the equipment over in Career Tech? Is it pretty advanced and sophisticated?
Yeah, we have a printers, like the printers they use in the big factories.
Okay.
So we get to learn how to use those. We have digital printers. We get to learn all the printing stuff.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it's a wonderful facility. Now,
yeah.
you guys have busy lives. You're juggling a lot, and you're there on a half-day basis. So you're here at Long Meadow High for a half a day, and then you're over at the Career Tech program for a half a day. How do you juggle it all? Like, Gabe, I noticed you got your Long Meadow hockey sweatshirt on. You're looking forward to the winter season, I'm sure. How do you juggle it all, and how do you juggle the half day at Career Tech, half day at Long Meadow High, and keep up with everything associated with your schedules? Is that a challenge?
Not really.
Yeah.
Actually, I find it makes it a little simpler.
Okay. In what way? How does it make it? I think I might know what you mean, but how does it make it simpler for you?
Well, I never was a great Spanish student,
Okay.
and I don't actually have to take that this year with CTech. But
Yeah. So you're still getting your core academics in here at Long Meadow High, but then you can explore these passions that you have. And how about with hockey? You're able to get back in time for practice and games and
just
everything?
in time, yeah.
All right, that's good. And how about you, Jared? Is it juggling the half-day schedule and half-day here, half-day at Career Tech? How's that work out for you?
I would say it's not that bad. Just like what Gabe said, I think I tell my parents all the time, like, it doesn't even feel like school
Okay.
because it's something I really like to do.
All right,
Something
good.
I really like to learn.
All right. Summer jobs, does this make you more employable, would you say, either for the summer or even after Long Meadow High? Does it translate into that for you?
Well, we do get OSHA certification,
Okay.
so that would help
All right.
with the safety.
So you're able to go to a prospective employer and say, I'm coming to you with this credential, I'm coming to you with this certification, and that's got to be helpful, right? Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. How about you, Gabe? Has this translated into employability for you, future jobs? What does that look like?
Same thing. All the shops are OSHA certified, so it brings a good safety aspect into that. A lot of employers are
Yeah.
looking at that.
What is that like when you have to pursue that OSHA certification? What do you have to do to achieve that? Are there certain activities or modules that you have to go through? What is that like?
Yeah, modules, I'd say. So we're OSHA 10 certified. So for we pretty much sit in a classroom 2 hours every day for a week, but come out with more knowledge
All right.
of safety.
Yeah. Same thing, Jared? Yeah.
We watch informational videos and we learn about like chemicals and all that.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. I mean, I think what we hear from employers nowadays, and even from higher education, is they want students that are ready to learn, and it learning how to learn, I think, is really a critical skill. And my sense is that you are picking up on that over at Career Tech, that it's making you more adaptable, more flexible, and potentially more attractive to future employers or to higher education. So. What are you most proud of? Any project you've worked on that you'd want to highlight, or any struggles that you've had? Has there been anything that you've found to be difficult? What would you highlight? And if you had to, I remember as a student, I would come home and I'd put an essay I wrote up on the refrigerator or something. But what's the thing that you would point to as a body of work that you're proud of?
Well, I think I'm really proud of just the first time I actually made my own design and printed it out on like a T-shirt. I think that was just the coolest thing because I had my own shirt that I designed on my own. That just blew my mind.
Yeah.
And I think that even though it was a pretty simple design, wasn't much. I think that was like the coolest thing.
Excellent. All right.
So,
How about you, Gabe? Anything that you're particularly proud of that you've done, or?
Every day is something new, really.
Yeah.
I'm just proud that I'm still there, hanging in there.
What parts of automotive technology do you like? Is it more the body work? Is it the mechanicals? Is it the?
I'd say more body work. There's
Yeah.
a lot of newer computer components that I'm not a huge fan of.
Yeah, right. I know that some folks who are really tinkerers with automotive, they like to dive into the old school sort of mechanical systems,
Yep.
right? Yeah. Yeah, but it sounds like you have, quite a fleet of cars to work on, and I'm so happy that, we're able to provide this opportunity to students in Long Meadow Public Schools. And we have about, I think, a total of 17 students right now who are part of the Career Tech program, and they're spread out over all the shops over there, and it's been a wonderful experience. What would you say to, 8th graders or 9th graders who are thinking about Career Tech? What would you say about the advantages or the benefits of participating?
Well, I feel like it's not for everybody. I feel like if you really enjoy doing things hands-on and you want to learn something new, I think it's a good idea to look into it and look at the opportunities it gives you.
Fantastic. Gabe, anything you'd want to say to prospective Career Tech students?
You covered it, really.
You covered it. All right. Hey, you guys are great. I mean, I'm proud of how you're representing Long Meadow High School over at Career Tech, and I'm really happy that you have these opportunities to engage in real-world learning that involves, something active where you're engaged with your hands and you're able to pursue a passion. So anytime that we can find opportunities for students to pursue learning and a passion at the same time, it's a home run. So I admire that you guys have taken that leap and that you're participating in Career Tech, and I hope through this maybe we encourage some other students to do what you guys have boldly done. So Gabe, thank you. Jared, thanks so much. And that wraps up another edition of the Superintendent's Corner. And thanks again to our partners at LCTV for getting us back into the studio after a long hiatus. Thank you and have a good night.